Well, it's a little after 4. Do you know where your wizard's at? I'm right here. I'm John Zidar, aka the Stock Wizard. This is On Top and Hot, and today is Wednesday, September 24th. Now, what I normally like to do on this show is to share a hot penny stock with you. I'm a day trader, and I primarily trade stocks under $5 every day. I see a lot of penny stocks, and I'm always looking for a hot penny stock to share with you at the end of the day so we can both cash in. Well, I've got one for you, a very unique opportunity. This is American Rebel Holdings, ticker AREB. She had some news come out, and we're going to talk about that news, but it is presenting us with a very unique and unusual opportunity where we can grab ourselves a small hold in this company and virtually be guaranteed a slam dunk 2,000% gains. Sounds crazy, doesn't it? That's why I'm sharing it with you. So American Rebel, she is an American company. She finished today at $1.07, dropping about 13%, which was about 16 cents. Now, she is a hot penny stock in the major exchange. She's on the NASDAQ, which comes with benefits compared to the OTC penny stocks. First off, major exchange stocks are free to trade. There are no transaction fees when you buy and sell your shares. You can trade in pre-market, aftermarket. You can never do that with OTC. There's a lot more money and a lot more volume up on the major exchange, which is what traders are looking for, and there's a lot more rules. Rules are for the companies, but it keeps them honest, it keeps our investments safe. Now, we have a prohibited service provider listed here in red, which is not a good thing, and I'm surprised to still see this here. I swear it was over a year ago that B.F. Borger's CPA was busted for bad accounting. Fraudulent accounting, as far as I can tell. And they had something like 300 companies that they were working for, and I do believe half of them are on the public exchange. Here's one of them right here. But most of them have already changed. Why this company still has them around, I really don't know. But they got to get that changed real fast. So what is this company about? Well, they're doing a few different things, and they do it all under the belt of patriotism. They're a very patriotic company. Everything they show off and do sounds patriotic, looks patriotic. They like to talk about the Constitution because they deal with guns. Well, not guns specifically, but gun safes. American Rebel Holdings is a fully reporting wholesale and retail sales company of gun safes and concealed carry apparel, as well as backpacks. They've got 2 offices, one in Kansas and one they're opening up in Tennessee. They also tell us that some dispensaries are now required to lock up their cannabis after hours as well as their money because cannabis companies can't put their money in the bank. It's illegal. And if a company's doing $10,000 a day, $1 million a month, where are they putting that money? Really? In their house? Under the bed? In the closet? Right, they need safes. So there was a big market there and they cashed in on it big time. But that's not the only thing that they're about. When you come over here to one of their websites, they've got lots of different websites. It made it kind of confusing. We see that they are also involved with what they call American Rebel Light Beer. And this is something they've been putting a hard push on right now. But let's just talk a little bit about the safes. I don't want to spend too much time on it because they do a lot of different safes. They've got different subsidiaries, which are each their own brand. And each brand is getting its own branding. And each brand is at a different price category from inexpensive to very expensive. The Harley Davidson line, all the way at the top. They have American Rebel, Champion Safes, and Superior Safes. Now, just so you can get an idea here, I'm over here at Google, American Rebel Safes. I'm pressing the image button. These are images of their safes. Now, I have pre-looked at this page, and I do believe, I may be wrong, every one of these safes are American Rebel safes. However, they're not all from American Rebel sites. That's Nevada Safes, that's Gun Storage Solutions, that's Texas Safe and Vault. Why? Well, because they have a lot of distributors. A lot of people are selling their safes. They are also selling apparel. They sell jackets, backpacks, racks, to put your guns on, even racks you put in your truck. There are lots of states where pickup trucks are allowed to have their guns up in the rack, out in the open. So they sell stuff like that as well. But as I said, they are also into beer now. And they have really been marketing the beer wisely. First off, it's very patriotic, red, white, and blue, stars, ribbons, all that good stuff. They are promoting it through different raceways, NASCAR, they have concerts, they have celebrities backing it. So it is starting to get a lot of attention. How much attention? Well, if we jump on over to their website, which is one of my favorite websites, I really like this. This is their beer, and just look at the beer. Look at everything that's written on it. America's patriots, God-fearing, Constitution-loving, national anthem singing, stand your ground beer, born in the USA. I mean, come on, you just feel patriotic guzzling this stuff, don't you? And their website is awesome. It just looks really cool. There's not a lot of information here. It just, tells you what they've got going on. And they are involved in the car raceway sector. Now, they do give us an idea of how much. Let me see here. This is a map, and it gives you an idea of what they've got going on here. These are the states and how many locations you can get beer at. Over in New York, Massachusetts area, they got 544 locations you can get American Rebel at. Up here in Ohio, you can get it at 115 different locations. Oh, but down here in North Carolina, you can only get it in 8. So they are growing. Things are taking off right now. Between the safes and the beer, they're doing pretty decent. Now let's take a look at the news, get some more information about this company. Now they've been doing a lot of promoting for the beer. They have been doing investing. They've been getting new distributors. American Rebel Light Beer powers NHRA Brain Nationals with Battle for the Rebel Axe. Their primary sponsors were TSR Nitro, Minnesota Beer Launch, Andy Ross Live, and they were also on Fox TV. One of their subsidiaries, Champion Safe, welcomes Mountain Pass Safes as a new distributor for them. American Rebel in August expanded into Western North Carolina, where we saw only 8 places you could get the beer right now. They are expanding with Budweiser of Asheville, Inc. Now, I didn't know we had any Budweiser left in America. I thought it all went over to Europe. So this is kind of cool to see. Now, the next piece of news we're just going to skip temporarily because it actually hooks up with the piece of news that came out today. Just makes more sense to put them together. Scooting on up to the end of August, we got a piece of news that tells us that the company is launching their beer in Indiana. This is the first time they've ever been there. They made a deal with Zinc Distributors to do that. They are also making a minority investment in Schmitty's Herbal Snuff and Pouches, entering a $10 billion smokeless market. Now, I don't know about you, but I don't know anybody that does snuff, snorts tobacco, and gets their nicotine inside their nose and then blows that all out later. I've only saw one person my entire life that used snuff, and it was an 80-year-old woman. Swear to God, nobody else. But they say it's a $10 billion market, and there must be something to it because American Rebel has made a minority investment into it. So they're now invested into snuff, light beer, and safes. Now they are buying a piece of property here. This is an interesting piece of news. They tell us here that they originally wanted 30% of this property from 2018 LLC. But they say they want to kick it out to expand to buying the company that actually owns the building itself. While the transaction was initially structured as a direct real estate purchase, the company has elected to acquire 100% of the membership interests in the limited liability company that owns the building. This structure preserves the original valuation of $14.1 million. This is impacting the stockholder equity, which is what we need to work on. Because when we come back to the news that I skipped right here, basically what this is a lot of hot water. There's a lot of things here that NASDAQ says the company has to fix. And I can't go into all of them right now, but the one that's very important is this panel meeting with the NASDAQ on September 30th. that is 6 days away when they have to show compliance for all of this. And a lot of this is about stockholders' equity. And they are talking about all these different places that they are gathering up and accumulating money and how they plan on getting it to us, to shareholders. Now, how do they plan on doing it? Well, that's the last piece of news we got to look at, and it's kind of interesting. They're doing it through a reverse stock split. I know I have never seen this actually go all the way through before. I did hear about this happening once with HNRC. I think it was 2 years ago. They were going to do it, but they were on the OTC and things just got worse and worse for them. And they're down there at 0003, quad 03, and it never worked. So I don't know how it finished out. So this is the very first time I've ever seen this, ever. First time I've ever explained it to you, and I want to see it play out. So they tell us the company is not doing a reverse stock split to meet the minimum bid price requirement. We normally see these reverse stock splits when the price is underneath $1 and they're being threatened to be thrown down to the OTC if they don't get the price up over $1. So they do a reverse stock split and boom, the price is over $1, but at the expense of the shareholders. We lose all of our shares. So how is this going to work? Well, they're going to do a 1-in-20 reverse stock split October 3rd. Okay, that's the date. Now, this is what is most interesting here, folks. You have never seen this before. They have entered a round lot shareholder protection plan to their reverse stock split. Let me break this down and explain it to you. Let's say that you and another person both get into the stock today. You buy 100 shares. Let's just call it $1 a share. So it costs you $100 for your 100 shares. Someone else today got in and bought 2,000 shares. $1 a share. They've got 2,000 shares for $2,000. October 3rd, we're going to have a reverse stock split of 1-in-20. The person with 2,000 shares is going to end up with 100 shares, just like you. His 100 shares cost him $2,000. You have 100 shares. After a reverse stock split of 120, you should have 5 shares left over. The reverse stock split takes the price of $1 and kicks it up 20 times. So they're going to be worth $20 a share. Your 5 shares at $20 a share is $100, right? So you've still got exactly what you purchased. You just don't have all the shares. Well, they have implemented a plan that if you have 100 shares, they won't touch them. They won't do a reverse stock split to you. If you had, say, 1,000 shares, the stock split would leave you with 50 shares. They're going to let you keep 100 shares instead of 50. Now, this is where it gets very, very creative, folks. Let me bring this up. I think you can see this. Why is that stuck here? That's not supposed to be there. All right, so here's my calculator. We got 100 shares, right? You paid $1 per share. So what did you pay? $100. Now, if the price goes up to $20 a share, we multiply your 100 shares. What is it worth now? $2,000. See, your 100 shares don't get affected. They're not going to take any value away. They're not going to take any shares away. You get to keep your 100 shares, and they're going to kick the price up 20 times. So the 100 shares you bought for $100 are worth $2,000 now. $2,000. The guy that bought shares at $1 a piece and bought 2,000, he doesn't get that deal. His shares are worth $2,000. Yours are worth $2,000, but he lost all his shares. Do you see what I'm saying here, folks? So only buy 100 shares. If you buy 110 or 200 or 500, they're going to take all those extra shares down to 100, and they're going to leave you 100 shares. I don't know if you buy 50, if they kick it up to 100. I don't know. That's worth considering. Then you'd have a 4,000% gain, because that's what they say here, folks. Round lot shareholder protection. To ensure that shareholders holding a round lot, typically 100 shares, are not adversely affected by the split. So all I am saying here, folks, to make your money, buy 100 shares, get $100 worth basically, hold them up until the reverse stock split October 3rd, when they're going to kick the price up 20 times. Your shares will not be affected while everybody else's shares are. You're going to be able to sell your shares at whatever the price is, $20 a share. You got 100 of them. That's $2,000, right? You should be able to do that. So I'm thinking this is going to be the moneymaker October 3rd. Now, I have never ever seen a reverse stock split that had a guarantee like this follow through. So I don't know how it plays out. I don't know where the extra shares come from and the extra money and how they all put it together behind the scenes. I don't know, folks. All I know is what they have told us. If you have 100 shares, you will not be affected by this reverse stock split. The reverse stock split is guaranteed to kick the price up 20 times. There is only one kind of share, Class A common stock. I'm going to own it with my 100 shares. The guy with 10,000 shares who goes through the reverse stock split owns the same shares. We're going to sell our shares for the same price. I don't see how I could be misunderstanding this. Do you? So what was the relative volume around the company today? A little over double. She's been doing just a hair over 1 million shares a day over the last 30 days. Today she did about 2.4 million. Share structure as it stands right now, we have outstanding share count of 7.4 million. Now, if you divide that by 20, which is what they're going to do, a reverse stock split, you're going to bring this down to 370,000 shares, about 400,000 shares, less than 500,000, which does not meet the minimum criteria on the major exchanges. You can't have less than 1.5 million in the float. So they're going to have to do a public offering right behind this. But that's not going to affect the reverse stock split price. As soon as they do the reverse stock split, you can sell your stock immediately. I didn't see any hold date. I didn't see any period where we have to hold the stock for a certain amount of time. So this all looks good to me. Once they have the reverse stock split, sell your stock, take your gains. They're going to have to do a public offering to get this up to 1.5 million, but that shouldn't affect us whatsoever. Currently, market cap is 9.1 million. Is AREB making any money? Well, they better be with all these safes that they've been selling to the cannabis industry, not to mention gun enthusiasts, and now the beer. So yeah, over the last 4 years, they have gone from less than $1 million. We got to add 3 zeros to any of the numbers on any of these charts, to over 8 million in 1 year, 16 million 2 years later, and now we dropped down to 11.4 million, and we're losing money. Really? We lost $119,000 at the end of 2024. What are the quarterlies looking like? Dun, 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 dun. Oh. All right, so it looks like we're doing between 3.5 and 2.5 to 3.5 million every quarter. And sometimes they're making money, sometimes they're not. So it's not real great right now. They're just kind of keeping their head above water, wouldn't you say? Looking at their balance sheet. Cash and cash equivalents, which we like to think of as the bank, we got about 5 million in the bank. Total assets, about 15 million. Total liabilities is down there at 18 million. So we are holding stockholder deficit. They want this up. This is what it's all about. They got to get that up. Right now we're at 3.1 million. And taking a look at the disclosures, this is all 2021 right there. We're not interested. Ooh, we got a Form 4 here that came out today. Ooh, interesting. Form 4s are filed whenever the insiders acquire or dispose of the company's stock. And they can do that in a lot of different ways. Up here is the person. This is Mr. Corey Allen. He is the president, the COO of the company. He has just sold shares. Here's a code, P for purchase, S for sale. There's letters for a lot of other things as well. I normally don't pay attention to it. But if you want to keep up with what they are talking about, you can normally learn right here. They'll tell you normally what's going on. This is a sale from the sale of 175,000 shares of common stock. When did they do this? He just sold it. And, oh, what? Now this is concerning. Look, He only has 100 shares left now. The president of the company just sold everything he had but 100 shares. Like I'm telling you to buy. I'm saying buy 100 shares. I can't tell you to do this. This is just my opinion. Let me make that perfectly clear. Grab a small hold of 100 shares. After the reverse stock split, it should have gone up 2,000% because they're kicking the price up 20 times. Well, funny, he sold all of his shares, got $202,000, and now he is left with 100 shares before the reverse stock split. Kind of curious, isn't it? Anything else over here to consider? Yeah, we've got some 144s. 144s. I'm not real sure about this, folks. I know they file these when the company buys shares of their own stock, but they also do it for a lot of other reasons as well. So I really don't know what's going on with that one. And then yesterday we had an 8K. 8Ks can be quite important. These are material changes. On September 16th of this year, the company issued 12,000 shares of D convertible stock valued at $90,000 to Carter, Terry & Company for partial payment of commissions owed on recent financials completed by the company. Okay, so they actually paid their accountant with stock instead of money. Very, very interesting. Okay, folks, so there you go. The company has got safes they are selling. They've got beer that they are promoting. They have just made an investment into a snuff company. If any of this is exciting to you, the company is on the market. They do have a warrant. Now, in mentioning that warrant, after this reverse stock split, the warrant will be probably not worth very much. Right now, the warrant is a coupon that is going to be used like 3 to 5 years down the road to buy a share at a guaranteed low price. And the guaranteed low price may be something like $1. Well, after this reverse stock split, it'll jump up 20 times. So now you'll be able to buy a share at $20. Well, a lot of people aren't excited about that. So you may just see the warrants drop just real bad. So I wouldn't be paying attention to the warrants right now, just the stock. The stock should be doing pretty decent. After the reverse stock split, it's going to be a super duper low float. So she could run. Now, you may want to hold on to those 100 shares. You may want to be a part of this company after she puts her stock in front of people who have money saying, hey, look, we're an American company. We sell an American light beer. We sell American safes to American gun owners. We are now into snuff. If that's exciting to you. As the price goes up, if it's successful, $22, $23, $25, $27, your 100 shares are going up to $2,100, $2,200, $2,300. Just like that. And all you invested was $100. So this could be very, very exciting, folks. All right, let's go take a look now at the chart for AREB, though it really doesn't matter. We're just getting our 100 shares for about $100, and we're going to hang on whatever the hell goes on up until October 3rd, see the split, see the price jump, take our gains. Ta-da! It's just that easy, and I never even looked at the chart. But we're going to go look at it anyways. So we're going to chart American Rebel over here on my free trading platform, Thinkorswim, which you can only get from Schwab, aka my playground. Because I have a lot more fun charting than I do reading filings and press releases, right? So we're looking at ticker AREB, got her opened up to a 4-hour, 6-month view, and we've got a high bubble here that just doesn't make sense to me. It says $91.75, and I ain't buying that, folks, not for 1 second. I think there was another reverse stock split that I am not aware of, and they adjusted the chart rather than put up one big green bar. What do I mean by that? Well, we've got a reverse stock split coming October 3rd, right? It's going to be a 1 in 20. We're used to seeing one big green bar come on the board when they do that reverse stock split and the price is pushed up 20 times. And then you can see what happens afterwards. Well, they don't do that anymore. Rather than put one big green bar on the board, which makes perfect sense, they now take every price on the chart all the way back as far as the chart goes, and they multiply it times the ratio of that split. So this high bubble of $91.75 is going to be multiplied by 20 on October 3rd, which means our high bubble will then read over $1,800. That ain't right. So they're obviously going to come back and fix it later, right? Nope, they're not. It's going to stay wrong forever. It's fake news, fake information. I hate it. I don't know why they do it. In any case, whatever the high was 6 months ago, she went into a downtrend fast and hard. Now, once the 200-day MA caught up to the price, we had a nice breakout attempt there. Short-lived, came right back down underneath the 200, and she's been under the 200 for a very long time. Now, it looks like she's totally flat, but believe me, she's not. There's a lot of activity going on down there, right? So we hit our 52-week low of 50 cents on September 8th. Off of that, we bounced up. We worked our way across all of the MAs here, 20, 200 haul, 50, rode across the 50 and the 20, and then yesterday we took this huge jump after she fell down to the 200, and this is what I look for. When the price is riding on the 50, if she drops down to that 200 haul, I expect an immediate jump to and through the 200. I do, and she did. She was on top of the 50, fell down to the 200 haul, and jumped immediately from 58 cents all the way up to $1.30. You're looking at over 100% run. Came back down, and she has landed on the 9-day MA. Now, it was a bad day today, but look, it was a safe landing. She has landed on top of the 9, with all of the other MAs still pushing up, climbing, coming toward our 200, which is just now going flat. She actually broke out early, a whole day early. But now, once this goes flat, chances are she's going to come down, hit the 200, or just come under it and hit the 20, bounce off of that, and start to go. And all of this before the reverse stock split. What do our technicals look like? Our PPO is strong. Our MACD is strong. Though it's cooled off a wee bit, it's still strong. And our RSI is actually climbing, right? She's actually pushing up. So everything looks really good on our 4-hour chart. Let's take a look at our 20-day 1-hour. Well, it pretty much looks like our 4-hour chart, doesn't it? Just a lot more bars here. Once she got over that 200, she went sideways for about 4 or 5 days, took a strong dip, and then jumped. Now, this is what I call the crouch and pounce. When you see a stock just sitting on top of one of its MAs, just going sideways, not really doing much of anything, and then all of a sudden takes a very quick fall, and then jumps up right back to where it was at. Right back to where it was at. To me, this says I'm going to go up hard and fast, like a cat crouching down before it pounces hard. But I don't know it's a crouch and pounce until it comes right back where it started from. This is where I get in, not down here. It's all guesswork here. But once it jumps back up to here, now I know it's in the middle of the jump. I'm getting in the momentum. And that's where I would have called it. I would have gotten in around 75 cents and rolled this up to $1.30. Well, somewhere up there, and then came down. And as you can see, it has fallen back down to our 200 haul, which is just as strong as our 200 MA. It respects this, and this is a friend to the price. It will actually help the price to climb. Everything looks strong on our 1-hour chart. Everything hit low on our oscillators, and they're all starting to come back up right now at this very moment. Taking a look at our 5-day, 5-minute. So she's climbing the 200. She took that crouch to get that pounce. Came back down. She crouched underneath the 200 again. Couldn't quite make it. Look at all of these MAs falling. Coming down over the 200. These are all death crosses. Coming down across that 200. But right now, all of those MAs are starting to level out. Look, our 200 haul is just turned up. It's blue. The price was sitting on top of the 50 with our 200 MA above it. What do we call that, folks? That's a 200 squeeze. Price between both 200s, above or on the 50. It is ready to take off to and through the 200 MA as soon as this turns up. Folks, this is going through the 200 right now. It is in the middle of a breakout at this very moment. So, you need to buy your shares now if you want to get this deal at about $1 a share before it goes up. But the bottom line is they're going to kick the price up 20 times. And you're going to get about 20 time value because they're not going to affect your 100 hold in this reverse stock split. That's what they said. So our $100 can turn into $2,000. Don't try to buy 200 shares. They won't do it for 200 unless you have multiple accounts. You can buy 100 shares in this account and 100 shares in that account. And remember, the president, the COO, just sold all his shares so he would only have 100. No, I honestly don't think that has anything to do with it. But it is kind of strange, isn't it? Very peculiar. All right, folks. AREB, there's your 2,000% winner if you play it the right way. Don't buy 101 shares, just buy 100. I'm going to give this a whirl. I'd like to see what happens. I'd like to be able to say, I did it. I took advantage of that. Wouldn't you? Remember, folks, the more you know, the more you're going to grow. See ya.